Are you tired of poorly made mob farms? Are you also tired of never getting any loot? Then you've come to the right place to learn how to build one efficient starter mob farm. Let's get into it. Now before we begin, there's one thing you need to know about this mob farm, and it needs to be built in one of two locations. Either in an ocean, like so, or in a very flat area, like so as well. The reason for that being is we will be making this mob farm at Y level 185 up in the sky, and it'll make a lot more sense as to why we do that later on in this tutorial. So without further ado, here are the building materials you will need. So one more note before we officially start building this, you can add 1 or 2 more layers to this. It does increase a little bit of efficiency, not too much, but this is originally a 4-layer mob farm, but you can add a 5th or 6th if you like. Just look at the build materials page and it should all be calculated for you how much you need per layer. But without further ado, let's actually start building this thing. So once you have picked your location where you would like to build the mob farm, you can get your leaf blocks ready. I typically like to build it over an ocean because it is a lot more flat, and I like to jump off the platform like a crazy man into the water so I don't die. But what you want to do is go down to the furthest layer, build out 2, break this one, add another leaf block here, and from this point we will be building a 2x1 leaf tower all the way up to Y level 185. Once you get all the way up to Y level 185, be careful not to fall off, and then build this little shape right here on the front part of the tower you just made. Then once you get that done, use your water buckets. Now in the new update, you can waterlog leaves. So what you kind of have to do is just break that and then place a solid block. And then you want to use your 2 water buckets to fill that water right there. That way when you do that, you have a way to get up into the mob farm. So once you got that done, break these blocks again and replace them with leaf blocks, and you will now start to build your main platform. Now the reason that you build this main platform out of leaves is because this is a completely spawn-proof block. That way you don't have to worry about lighting it up or worry about mob spawning or anything of that nature. So this main platform is an 18 by 18. So currently you have 4. I usually start with these 2 right here. This is 1, and then starting from this 1, you want to build out 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then from this one, you want to build 18 that way, and we will do that now. So, once you have your platform built, it should look a little something like this. And now all we have to do is find the center of this platform. And the easiest way to do that is, since this is 18 by 18, it's 18 this way, 18 that way. You just start with this block. Since this is the exact middle, you start with this one right here and you count 9 towards the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Place that block there, and from here, you can just place these blocks like so, and that is the exact middle of the platform. So from this point, you want to take 4 more blocks out from each side, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what you want to do is fill that little square in, like so. And then on the very middle blocks that you found, you want to place some hoppers, but you are going to be changing the direction of these. So you might want to place the chests first. Place them in this fashion, like so. And then take these hoppers, place them in there. From this point, you want to take some carpet, put 4 carpet over the hoppers. You want to break these 2 leaf blocks, put the redstone, and then put the iron trap doors. That way they're like so. This will make more sense once we get builded. What I like to do is just break this leaf block here, place a little crafting bench, and then also off to the side here, I make an infinite water source. So if you have the 2 buckets, if you want to wait to put your waterfall down, you can use your 2 water buckets to make a infinite water source. And I obviously forgot that there is a new update with the water log. So what you want to do is make an infinite water source. You can replace those again with leaf blocks like so, and then you can use the 2 water buckets again to fill in this water. So if you couldn't tell already, this is the main platform in which your mobs will be falling down. So this counts as 1. We'll remember that, okay? So from the back here, you want to take whatever building block that you decided to use. Make sure that it's a block that can be put into slabs, because you will be using slabs. Or if you want to use 2 different blocks, however you want to build this farm is completely up to you. But basically what we are going to do is we're going to put 4 cobblestone right there. From there, we are going to put slabs like so. You can break the corners if you want. I usually like to because it makes it look nicer to me. And then from here, we want to go up 21 blocks. So like I said, this layer right here is 1. So we go 1, 2, and then from this point on, we go up 21. So we're on 2 right now. This will be 3. And what I like to do is just build it like this. 4, 5, and then so on and so forth. So once you have made it to the 21st layer, what you want to do is plug up this hole. If you're building in survival, I do this so I don't fall down the tube and die. And then I put blocks on each corner like so. And from this point, we will be making a cross pattern. You're going to be building 8 blocks out from each side. So this is always going to be the first block. And then from this point on, you want to build out 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you want to fill in the rest like so. And then I usually like to build this as well while I'm doing it. Put that there. You can put that block there and then build this out. Build this out as well. And then you want to close it in over here and then break that block. So then you have this little pattern like so. And then now we will do each side. So now you have built out 8 on each side. And now what I usually do, like I said, if I'm building in survival, I will put these blocks here. And while I'm up here, make another infinite water source. And why I do this is because you will be needing water to put right here. So on each little pathway, go to the very end and place a water source right there. And then, of course, once you're in survival, plug this up and then break it. And you won't need that there anymore. And as you can see, the water comes down to the middle of the tube. Alright, so you got the water down, you got the cross pattern. Now it's time to start filling in the platforms, and this is where the actual mob farm starts to come together. So what you want to do is you basically just want to connect all of the corners. You just want to go out and do this, and then as you do that, you want to fill every single one of these squares in until the whole thing is complete. So once you get the first main platform done, this is what it will look like. Now you want to get your trapdoors and carpet ready. With your trapdoors, you just fill in these little spaces between the water, like so. So now it'll look like that. And then once you get your carpet, you put 1 on each corner. And from here, you want a 2-space gap between each carpet. And now the reason you put carpet in this fashion is because it prevents spiders from spawning. And this is a spider-proof farm. The reason why you want it to be a spider-proof farm is so that the spiders don't clog it up and reduce the amount of mobs that spawn. There are occasions where there will be 1 or 2 spiders that spawn, but for the most part, this is a spider-proof farm. So you put the carpet in this fashion. There should be 9 carpet per layer. Make sure you put it in the right spot. I did not. and then it should look like this. It should look like this, I mean. Oopsies. That is your first layer done. Now, if you're in survival, like I said, you want to get a torch. And the reason that I do this is it lights up each layer. So I put a torch usually right here next to this piece of carpet on each corner. And that's enough light for you to be safe building the rest of the farm. Because you have to think you're going to be building 4 more layers. And this first layer is going to be dark as you are building the rest. So what I typically do in survival to make this a lot quicker for me, I put this little L on each one of the corners like that. And then that way I can just go to F5 and then walk across without having to worry about any falling off or me stumbling and falling and tripping and dying. But since I'm in creative, I don't really have to do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to go all the way around once, and then once again you're going to build another layer on top of that so that there's a 2-high wall on this area. Alright, so you have the 2-high wall now. Now you just want to go one more block up so that it's a 3-high wall, like so. And then from this point you want to find the first cobblestone on each layer, and then pretty much make the same exact layer each and every time. So we're going to replicate this. So now it should look a little something like this. From this point on, you are replicating this first layer however many times you want to go up. So like I said, this is a 4-layer farm in this tutorial. If you want to make it a 5-layer farm, if you want to make it a 6-layer farm, that is by all means up to you. But just remember that each layer is going to look the exact same. So once we get to the last layer, I will explain the last little touches that we have to do in order for this farm to get up and running. Okay, so you've officially made it to your last layer. Whether that's layer 4, 5, or 6, this is the same thing you're going to do to top off the entire farm. Now what you want to do is get your slabs, and you want to go all the way around the edge of this wall, and then you want to close it in with slabs as well. And what this does is it prevents any mobs from spawning on top of the farm. You definitely don't want that, because then there'll be mobs falling on top of you while you're farming. So you want to make a slab roof, outline the border, and close it in. Alright, once you get to the last blocks, this is what it would look like on the inside. So, for those of you building this in survival, which I'm assuming everybody who watches this will be building it in survival, because what's the point of building this in creative if you're not going to get survival? What's the point? But you get to this last part, and this is why you have the torches, right? Every layer is lit up. So from this point forward, what you have to do is you have to go through each layer and close the trap doors, and then knock down all of the torches. So basically the way that I do this is I just kind of run around and I do it. You have to do it fairly quickly so mobs don't spawn on top of you. For the most part they won't. I'm in peaceful right now so they definitely won't. But you just want to walk around and just close all the trap doors. Make sure you don't get yourself trapped. And then as you go, you want to drop down each layer and do the same exact thing. So knock down the torches, open up the trap doors, drop down to the next layer, rinse and repeat till you get to the final layer. Okay, so you've made it to your last layer, got all the torches. It's going to be fairly dark in this farm. But don't let it freak you out. Hold your composure and get it together. Alright, so now what you have to do is make sure you break these 4 blocks in the middle so that the mobs can fall down the tube when they spawn. So from this point, what I usually do in survival is I break open a little hole, build out a block, plug that hole, make sure you plug it, put a little water bucket right here so that you're safe, and then break this block, and then you can either pick it up with a bucket or just plug it up like that, and then you can kind of just swim down. If you want to, you can jump all the way down to the bottom and then climb your way back up. What I usually do is just do that way I'm on the platform. So as you can see, it's fairly dark down here, so you can put a couple torches here just to light it up, give you some light to work with, and you have officially made the mob farm. And this is the final product of what it will look like. So we have one little thing to take care of before we finish this tutorial. You don't have to do this by all means. If you want to put this somewhere else, you can. But what I always do is I put my enchanting stuff up here. I put a brewing stand, an anvil, and a grindstone. I also put some chests, just like a double chest right there. And then over here, I typically put about 4 blocks of soul sand, and I'll plant nether wart there. So basically, you have everything that you need in one spot. You have your enchantment table, you have your brewing that you need if you need potions, you have your levels here, your items here. It's basically my way of just having everything consolidated and all in one spot. That way you don't have to keep running back and forth to all the different areas that you have in your world. And right here, you can just grind it out. So that is it for me. If you guys have made it this far, please give this video a like, give me a follow or a subscribe depending on what platform you're watching this. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I appreciate you guys so much for all the support that you give. And I am sorry for the lack of content lately, the lack of streams, but I do plan on getting back into it. Just know I miss you guys. But another last closing thought, I will be making another tutorial about how to add a sorting system to this mob farm, because this thing fills up very quickly in the chests. So there will be another point in time where I make a mob farm tutorial auto sorting system shebang. That made no sense how I said that, but you know what I mean. At least I hope you do. But that is it for me. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys know the drill. I will catch you all on the flip-flop, the flippity-flop. Peace out.